I did. To me, it was very enjoyable. I've always been service oriented. I think it's important that veterinarians belong to your local organization, your state, and the AVMA. They do so many things for you that you don't know. I started off getting involved with the Arrowhead Veterinary Medical Association, which met usually in Duluth, and they had business meetings and generally some CE. And so I got elected treasurer and eventually president, secretary and president. And that launched me into an opportunity then that came up with the Board of Animal Health. And I ran for a position on the Board of Animal Health, which is governor appointed. So I sent in a resume and I got appointed. Back then it was Arnie Carlson was the governor. And so I served 2 4-year terms on the board. So I got to meet everybody involved, with the Board of Animal Health. Got to know so many people very well, that worked there, Dr. Haggerty and several others. And I really enjoyed that time on the board. And then a person who was on the board at that time asked me if I would consider running for board of directors of the Minnesota Vet Med Association. And I thought, wow, that's kind of way over my head, but sure, I'll do it. And so I ran for board of directors, and after the first year, they asked me if I would run for vice president, which is an automatic step then into the presidency, and I said yes. So when I became president of Minnesota, that was a great honor for me. And then people started saying, you should think about the AVMA, maybe the Council on Veterinary Service. There's positions open on that, and you should run for that. Well, back then, for the Council on Veterinary Service, you had to go to an AVMA national meeting and give a 2-minute speech, not 2 minutes and one, but 2 minutes or 1 minute and 59 seconds. If you went over, they said you will not get elected. There were 3 of us running for the position, and I nervously got up there and gave my spiel, and I got elected Council on Veterinary Service. And the council deals with so many things. It was a great experience. I ran for a committee then, about my fourth year on the council, and got elected to that. That's an appointment by the board of directors. And then Clark Fobian, who was our district director in Minnesota, and he came when the meeting was in Duluth. And that's where he gave his speech to try to get Minnesotans to hopefully vote for him, because the only elected position in the AVMA by the general membership is board of director. So the board of directors elected by then all the veterinarians in the 6 states, or however many states are in that district. In District 7, it's 6 states. And so Clark and I hit it off. He was also a 77 grad, started mixed, but then went small, and just a great family man. We became friends, and after 3-4 years, he said, you ought to think about running for board of directors, running for my position when I get off. That's like, wow, that's way over my head. I don't think I'm capable of that. But he kept hounding me to do it, and other people suggested it would be good, so I did. I ran, and I got elected, and that's where that went. And then as time passed on the board, I had deans of veterinary schools, other people come up to me and say, you'd be a great president. You should think about running for president-elect of the AVMA. So I thought about it and decided to do it. And I had somebody run against me, but fortunately I won the election, and so then I became president-elect. Another great honor, great honor. It's a 3-year commitment, president-elect, president, and immediate past president. And as president-elect, you travel a lot. You divide the travel up mostly between president-elect and president. Any leftovers could go to the immediate past president. And so this was just before COVID. So my president-elect year, I traveled a lot, extensively. And I went to Australia, Germany, Croatia, China, 3 times to Mexico City, Canada, all over the place. And it wasn't until March of my year as president that COVID hit, and that's when travel stopped. So then I had a lot of television time talking about COVID and pets and various things. And I was on Fox News 4 or 5 times. I was on ABC, NBC, Good Morning America, Today Show, Tomorrow, and then a lot of the affiliates out of Texas, New York, California. So it was very busy, and I would be sitting here in my office talking about various issues of COVID or people that are home, not working, adopting more pets, and what's it going to be like when they go back to work. So I had a lot of media training with AVMA and a lot of media coverage.